FBI agents and police turned the entire town of Armada, Michigan into a checkpoint last night. They were interrogating every single driver who tried to enter or leave the town, and they were searching for clues on the murder of April Millsap, who was found in a wooded area last week. She was murdered there. Now, after the police were done interrogating every driver, they would mark their hands with an X and basically send them on their way. But this is becoming a new norm: mass investigative detention as part of a crime investigation. Now, we had in June 2012 the bank robbery in Aurora, Colorado, where everyone within the vicinity of the bank was handcuffed. California Highway Patrol officers set up a checkpoint in Sacramento, California, after a gang member shot and injured a number of police officers. Then he went into hiding, and that's where you will recognize that one infamous photo where the police officer was aiming a gun at an innocent driver's head who just happened to go through the checkpoint. Now, also during the aftermath of the Boston Marathon bombing, the entire town was shut down. Heavily armed police went door to door without search warrants, terrorizing families at gunpoint and ransacking homes. And then last year in California, during the manhunt for Christopher Dorner, police wildly shot and injured numerous innocent people. So this is what is becoming the new norm. Entire towns full of Americans are being detained to catch one guy. Meanwhile, the DHS is knowingly releasing 36,000 criminal illegal aliens back onto the streets of America just last year alone. These are criminals who committed the crimes such as rape, murders, multiple offenders, and they just let them go back into the streets because there's just so many other illegal aliens, such a backlog. They're like, yeah, what's another criminal on the street gonna hurt anything? Meanwhile, they're shutting down entire towns and interrogating innocent Americans. It's total fraud. Here again, we have the police state just overstepping their authority, and people are just kind of letting them because, you know, it's keeping us safe from all of these dangerous guns and criminals. Meanwhile, in Massachusetts, they're trying to further toughen their gun laws by passing a new bill today. This one is going to give police chiefs the authority to decide who can purchase a rifle or shotgun. Now, House lawmakers overrode objections from gun rights advocates there in the state Senate. They opposed the measure, worrying that police chiefs could abuse their authority to deny firearms to law-abiding citizens. Now, the measure broadens the authority of police. They were already allowed to deny sales of handguns to people who failed background checks. Well, this new measure gives a police chief 90 days to petition a court to deny a firearms ID card to someone the chief believes to be unfit. So now the chief gets to decide. And of course, there's no need to worry about any corrupt police chiefs abusing their power, right? I mean, they certainly wouldn't do that there in the corrupt Albuquerque Police Department. Or, of course, we have the 6 Philadelphia police officers who were charged today with armed robbery, kidnapping, and drug dealing, part of a huge ring. But, you know, no corruption there. The police chief should be given the authority to decide who can go ahead and exercise their Second Amendment right to protect themselves, right? And old Bloomberg, he just won't give up. He just wants your guns, and he continues to promote it in the most awful way possible. Here is his latest gun grab ad that completely backfired.
It's my ex. He's trying to break in.
Do you have a restraining order?
This is my
Yes,
house.
please, my son is here.
Open the door!
I need you to stay calm.
He just broke in the door. You need to come now. Get away from him. Hey! Put him down! Get away! Get out of here!
I'm taking him!
So ridiculously out of touch, Bloomberg. This video basically makes the case for having a gun in the home to protect yourself and your child. Having a gun in the home would have been the only thing that would have put that woman on level playing field with her estranged husband. And also, Bloomberg's ad went so far as to show her making a 911 call. But as we all know, when seconds count, police will take minutes to get there. But you know, here we go. We're just trying to propagate to the American people and convince them that it would have been better if there were just no guns at all, because then this guy, you know, he couldn't have come in and beat her you know, and slapped her around and then stole the baby, right? No, it's going to be the gun. That's the only thing that's going to put that woman on level playing field with the man. He probably would never have even attempted to enter the home if he knew that she was trained and ready to fire. And if he still tried to attempt it at that point, he would have just been blasted before he even made it through the door. So thank you, Bloomberg, for making the case to protect our Second Amendment right. Of course, so ridiculously out of touch. But here we go. What is a police state without turning everyone here in America into potential criminals? And of course, that's why they're wanting to track us all. But New Zealand parents were really surprised to find out that their children were going to be treated like prisoners are in a jail. They were upset to learn that their children were going to be given chipped bracelets to track their behavior. They weren't even notified about it. They just found out about it via the minutes from a PTA meeting. Now, under this proposal, the devices lock to kids' arms, and they would allow teachers to use portable scanners in order to add reward points to a student's good behavior. And they would, of course, be stored on a database. So here, they're making these bracelets look really cool, and they're giving these kids points for being tracked. Students are going to be rewarded the points for doing something that the teachers determined to be positive, and then incentives would be enhanced with the promise of prizes for reaching a certain amount of points. Now, the school claims that the devices wouldn't have any GPS trackers. Obviously, parents were outraged at the scheme, which is otherwise literally employed on prisoners to monitor their whereabouts and, of course, activities of offenders who are on parole. But now they're going to make it cool and clever for the kids. Maybe they can get some of those tracking bracelets for the people who are entering our country illegally. But it's not just New Zealand. Of course, we've reported on schools here in the U.S. attempting this same type of tracking with the RFID cards, but also trying to use biometric iris scans when kids board the buses here. It is so ridiculous. They are literally trying to turn us into a permanent slave class. And of course, one way to do that is to use these tracking devices to attach us to our debt. Currently, Americans are attached to their debt via their Social Security number, but people who are in this country illegally are finding ways to skirt this debt slavery. Coming up, we're going to be speaking with a whistleblower.
The facts are in. The studies are legion. Sodium fluoride and other toxic members of the fluoride family are devastating the health and cognitive ability of the American people. I am extremely excited to announce the exclusive InfoWars Life Fluoride Shield formulation, fusing 6 of the best documented ingredients from around the world to help the body remove not just toxic fluoride residues from the body, but a whole host of toxic substances. Secure your fluoride shield at InfoWarsLife.com today.